Let's talk about walking pads. I oftentimes get questions about why I'm not recommending walking pads more often. Generally speaking, they are a bit of a safety concern because there's this, fall hazard that could happen. Overall, I have some tips for you and what you can do to improve your safety while you're using a walking pad at your standing desk. The first tip I have for you is to take breaks. This isn't an all-day marathon. We don't need to challenge one another to see how many steps we can get while we are working. The goal with ergonomics is to change positions as frequently as you can. So if we're walking for 8 hours, you've been stuck in that same position for 8 hours. Our goals, if you have a walking pad, would be walking for 30 minutes every 2 hours, and then you can repeat that 4 times during an 8-hour workday. When you're on a walking pad, you're adding an additional component for your brain to process. So imagine you already have a really challenging job to figure out or a difficult project that you're working on, and then you add a walking pad to the component and maybe you're chewing gum too. That's a lot for your brain to consider. So if you're using a walking pad, make sure you find an easy task to do so you don't overload your system. If you are working on a project, you don't want to make errors or slips, and you don't want to slip either. The next tip I have for you is to find a task that allows you to move your arms in a reciprocal fashion like our bodies are designed to do. So if we're mousing and typing for the entire 30 minutes while we're walking, our hips compensate for that movement instead of our arms allowing our body to weight shift from side to side. So attending a webinar or even a virtual meeting are great work choices when you're on your walking pad. When you're using a walking pad, it is not a substitute for a workout. When we're on a walking pad at our desk, we're usually setting it at a slower pace to keep us safe. And when that happens, we're not allowing our heart to get to those elevated heart rates. When we work out 30 minutes, 5 days a week, we can bring up our heart rate to take better care of our heart and our overall cardiac system. When you're moving your walking pad to and from your workstation, make sure you're practicing safe lifting techniques. So squatting with your legs, keeping an upright and neutral spine, and no twisting. If you found this video helpful, be sure to give it a like. If you enjoy learning more about ergonomics, subscribe to our channel, and I look forward to seeing you again.